You boys are the answer. The Long Walk is the answer.
The Long Walk was directed by Francis Lawrence, with a screenplay by J.T. Mulner, and of course based upon the novel by Stephen King. It stars Cooper Hoffman, David Johnson, Garrett Waring, and Mark Hamill in one of his most evil turns as the Major. And as with anything out fairly recently, I will be doing a very brief spoiler-free section, a clear mark of, okay, now I'm going to go on to spoilers, and then I'll talk them. But yeah, first of all, this is very much the Hunger Games-y, Battle Royale kind of scenario. We have some kind of war has happened, various, economic and social issues have risen because of that, and to create some positivity and hope in the populace, apparently, boys, young men really, are recruited from each state to do the Long Walk, an endurance trial without a finish line. All of them will walk until only one is left. If they go below 3 miles an hour, they are warned. They get 3 warnings, and then their ticket is given to them. That's the wording that's used. If they attempt to veer off from the road, they will also have their tickets handed to them. And this is one of those that I can't recommend in the traditional sense. I can't say this was a fun romp or anything like that, because I would be lying. It's still worth seeing, but it is not a fun ride. You are going to feel things, hopefully. And it takes a strong stomach. I would say if you are easily affected by any kind of violence on what really are kids in a very real sense, then maybe skip this. But if you can stomach it, you will definitely get something out of it. And like I say, Mark Hamill I know he's voiced the Joker for years, but the Major never takes sunglasses off. There is a whole phrase that I'm sure all of us are aware of, the eyes are the windows to the soul. We don't know what's going on in the Major's soul. And that's hard going. I do want to give a very big hat tip, though, to David Johnson, because I quite liked him in Alien Romulus. I think I mentioned the ability that he played Andy 2 different ways before and after the upgrade. And here, he's a very different character to that. Very friendly, very likeable. And, you want him to succeed. Now, of course, this is the spoiler-free bit, so I'm not going to tell you who wins, like what position they have. Just because I've mentioned him doesn't mean that, he lasts any longer than 5 minutes. But also, before I quickly talk about spoilers, and this isn't really spoiling anything by mentioning he's in it, because he's in the cast list, Roman Griffin Davis, I was surprised by. I saw him on screen, I haven't really seen him, I think, in anything since Jojo Rabbit, and I just looked and went, hold on a minute, that guy looks familiar. So that was nice to see. If you can stomach it, if you're ready for some harrowing scenes, absolutely watch this. If that's something that might upset you, yes, skip it. As much as I think everyone should watch this who can, yeah, don't torture yourself just to make this work. But with that out of the way, now let's talk some spoilers. So yes, Roman Griffin Davis doesn't appear for very long. He's the first one taken out, and it's very graphic, that scene. I'm surprised this got a 15 over here, which I believe is the same as PG-13, I think, in the States. But I was surprised it got that 15 rating, because that was quite grim. However, the violence itself is often, in the distance and things like that. So it's only 1 or 2 scenes of the graphic stuff. Maybe that's how they've got away with it. But I was so surprised that was how that happened. And yes, of course, I mentioned David Johnson, and he is the eventual winner, Peter, but in the most heartbreaking way. Because earlier in the film, Ray does say, his goal is to get the carbine, and he's going to shoot the Major if he wins. And Peter takes his dream and does it. As far as we're aware at the end of the film, he got away with it. But before that there's so many moments in this film that I teared up. And I think, the last one probably was when he says, I'm going to stop. Ray, you need to win. Like, you've got your mum around. My parents are dead. I don't have anything really, or anyone there waiting for me. Live for your mum. And he goes, no, we're doing this together. And then Ray stops. And he gets ended. That got me, One of the things that I've said multiple times on this channel, in various different videos through whatever I've done, is one of the things that really upsets me is a lack of ability to see their potential through. So whilst it's sad that anyone, might die who I've got an emotional attachment to in a film, with kids, with anyone really, younger than 25, I would say it hits me more. There is a lot of life they could have had, a lot of potential. They could have done so much with their lives. And there's a lot of characters here you start to build an attachment to, or an understanding of, an appreciation for. Some people will love some characters more than others. I'm not sure if anyone will like Barkovich, but, aside from that, there's going to be characters that you get attached to, and they will not see out this film. And that's just brilliant to me. The fact that you can care so much about all of these characters, that those moments hit. And even the ones that are in the distance, because you can see the emotion on the faces of the other people around. From what I know of this, I believe it was made in order. And that was a really good move, because you see these bonds build over time, obviously between the characters, but that was happening between the actors. And all the while, Hamill is kind of separate from that. So, like I said in the before, spoiler bit, absolutely, if you've got the stomach for it, watch this. If you've watched for the spoilers, I said I was going to spoil it. But seriously, I still think it's a good journey to go on, even knowing how it ends. Like, I would theoretically, after a bit of a break, but I would theoretically watch this again. When I'm in the mind to, when I know that I can deal with that trauma, if you will. It's that important, I think, and, in how it's put together. But those are my thoughts on The Long Walk. Did you appreciate it? Again, I don't want to use the word enjoy, but did you appreciate what it did? Do you think it did it well? Did you have issues with it? Please do let me know in the comments. But until next time, as always, thank you for watching. Take care. And don't walk hundreds of miles for something like this.